Hi, this is Sarah, the Stitchin' Mommy, and I'm here for my weekly update. It is Monday, August 21st, and we just enjoyed a partial solar eclipse today in the United States. Our fullest point was like 10:20 this morning, and so a little over an hour ago. And my husband had bought some solar glasses, so I went out in the backyard a few times and like kind of tracked with it, so that was fun. I was thinking about where I grew up in Oregon is right near the path of totality, they say. So I was thinking, well, maybe Bendy Stitchy could make an excuse to drive up to the LNS in Corvallis, the Friendship Crossings, because then she'd be closer to a better view of the eclipse. If she mentioned anything in her last video, I don't know. I haven't been caught up enough to watch that one yet, but I thought that would be fun. So we'll see what she has to say in her video tomorrow. See if she got to see it. It didn't get all that dark here. It just got a little bit eerie. I was hoping it would feel kind of like dusk or evening or something, but it was still fairly bright. First thing in the morning, taking my kids to school, it was complete cloud cover. So I was like, great, once in a lifetime opportunity, and it's cloudy. But the clouds burned off by the time I was done grocery shopping and got to enjoy that. So, let's see. Last time I talked about how my plans had been, I had felt like I was sharing my plans too much, and I really appreciate all of you commenting how you liked hearing my plans and you liked being able to feel like you're sitting down chit-chatting with me by me sharing those and hearing my ideas, and that was just really nice to hear, because I don't want to be obnoxious or annoying, so it's nice to know that you guys enjoy planning and enjoy, I think A Niche to Stitch told me she'll fall asleep to cross-stitching and wake up thinking about cross-stitching, and I do the same thing. So we're all a little addicted to cross-stitch, so it's fun. I don't have a whole lot of planning for next year this time. I haven't made any significant changes. One thing I did buy that's it's coming up. It's haul, but I can't really show it because it's not really ready. I forget what day now. This week sometime, Frosted Pumpkin Stitchery released their new National Park Stitch Along, which will start on September 15th. And I did the last one, and my first thought, they had sent an email with a promo code because I did the last one. My first thought was, nah, I'm okay. I don't need to do that. And then I saw on Instagram they had another sneak peek like the next day, and I started to think, oh, I need to do it. I had a little bit of FOMO, fear of missing out, because I think I would only enjoy stitching those while they're mysteries. I think once the mystery is over for those particular national park ones, I don't know that I would feel the need to do it, and so I think if I'm going to do it at all, I need to do it as a mystery. So I went ahead and bought it, and I'm excited. I think this one has four releases, and they go all the way through December, and I think they're maybe farther spread out. I think they might be bigger chunks than last time, but we'll see. So I found some beige 18 count Aida that was in my stash. I got it on clearance when Joann's was doing their like reorganizing their cross-stitching section a few months ago. So that's what I'll do it on, and the white should pop pretty nicely on that. I won't have to do any outlining back stitching. And one more item of, I don't know what you call it, housekeeping. I wanted to ask you all how the sound quality is in my videos. My sister has watched a couple of my videos and mentions that the sound is very low. compared to other things she watches, and I think she streams me into her TV, so she's comparing it to like real TV shows and movies and stuff, and I'm significantly quieter than those things. However, if I'm about the same volume level as other Flosstube videos, I don't necessarily see the need to like invest in a microphone or other technology to help change that if I'm about the same as other Flosstubers. If anyone's noticed that I sound quiet and you would like better miking, let me know and I can look into that. Let's see, what next? I guess we can go into my plans. My first whip is the most straightforward, so I'll do that one first. It's my temperature garden. Nothing too crazy about this one. All of my other whips have a little bit of a story this week. So, first is my temperature garden. I did one flower this week, like around Wednesday, I think it was Wednesday. I can do another one tomorrow, since the flower that is currently getting the temperatures is a 6-petaled flower, so I have to wait an extra day. This is where it was last time. And here is where it is now. I did this one. And what was really fun about this flower is not only is each petal the same, but there was just a couple degrees difference between these top two flowers, but I mean each petal is different, sorry. After this one, they dropped down like 10 degrees. So this is 100, this is in the 90s, this is in the 80s, this is in the 70s. Nice day that day. Like, oh, this is great. It was like a little preview of fall. So that was fun to get to do a green again after such a long time. So there's that one. And let's see. Let's start talking about my September. So I did not work on my castle at all this week because I wasn't really feeling it. I'm kind of antsy to get those other castle colors, which I'll get this week hopefully. And I felt too far behind on September from the last couple weekends that I didn't really give it much attention. This is the one I'm talking about. So I brought that back out again to work on throughout the week when I had a few extra minutes in the car, as well as my weekend, and actually only part of the weekend, and I'll explain that in a minute too. So this is where it looked like last time, and here's where it is now. I'm much happier with my progress now. There's about 2 weekends, I think there's 2 weekends left in August, so I'm a lot more confident that I will finish it on the weekends now. Finished the owls all the way, finished these little trees. They're kind of bare bones. Did a little bit of where there's the ground, I guess, because it had the same colors. And I did September and a little bit of the border. Finish out that string I was on. So it's very autumnal, which are not really my favorite colors, but I'm hoping it'll kind of brighten up a little bit when I add the greens. There's some greens down here, a little bit in the border, but mostly just on the bottom, which is why I haven't done them yet. I was trying to do the top part first. So there's that, and I'm happy with my progress. So happy that on Saturday night when I was finishing up some sections, I decided I didn't want to do it on Sunday. I was kind of at a good stopping point. I was good. So I thought, well, I don't really want to move forward into next week's project yet, and I don't really want to go backwards to this past week's projects because they were at good stopping points. So that was a good time to get out my diamond painting. So yesterday I got out my diamond painting, and I will try to find a picture where it was last time I showed you and put that here. And here is where it is now. see if I can do this. There we go. So this is where it's at now. There we go. You can see more of the tree and more of this pink bush down here on the bottom. A little bit of the sky is showing up over here. There'll be more of that color in a little bit. It's going to be like a tree-lined path in the fall is kind of what it's going to look like. So, I did one diagonal. I'm doing this on the diagonal. I do it like a 10 square diagonal, just because it seemed to be a nice, easy way to open up this cover. I want to keep the sticky surface protected while it's in storage, and knowing that I'm not going to just bust it out in a couple weeks, I wanted to make sure to keep it protected. And that seemed to be the easiest way to roll it back to work on it, and then cover it up again. So there's that one, and I'll continue to show you that whenever I make time for it. My main one I mentioned last week was waterfall, and I was gonna start working up here in the diagonal, doing some diagonal stitching, and I started doing that. Had just the very tip first little triangle finished, and guess what came in the mail? The fabric for my enchanted alphabet that I ordered, 45 count fabric. So I surprised myself actually in that even though I got the fabric, because I had just started this new method on this piece, I was actually wanted to keep going on this, just keep working on it and not immediately start enchanted alphabet like I had thought. So I actually set the fabric aside for the rest of Monday and posted a picture on Instagram showing that my fabric had come and what should I do? Should I finish 1,200 stitches on waterfall and then start it? Should I start it right away? And of course, every comment I received was, start it right away. Of course, start it. You guys are terrible. Terrible, terrible accomplices. Okay, so anyways, I did not start it right away. I started it, I think, the next day. So it was still, I didn't wait till I finished my goal on waterfall. But I did finish, what was I going to say? I finished a diagonal. So I finished another little diagonal. Then I worked on, let's see, maybe two. Because I would have done... So I finished another little diagonal Monday, and then I worked on yet another one. No. Yeah, just one more diagonal, I think. And then I did one letter on Enchanted Alphabet. I let myself start it. Then I went back and did another diagonal. And then I went back and did another letter, and then I finished up one more diagonal on Waterfall. I think that's how it went. So, I got 800 stitches done on Waterfall. Not 1,200, but I also got 2 letters done on Enchanted Alphabet. So I'll have to try my counting to see how long 1,200 stitches takes me next time. In September. We'll see if I can figure that out without too many unplanned starts, because I've already got one more new start in September that's going to be the Frosted Pumpkin one on the 15th. So, yeah. I just don't know. I don't want to do too many things. I'll probably end up with 50 whips before the year's out, but hopefully not. Hopefully I'll get some finishes in there too. So anyways, here's where Waterfall looked last time. And here's what it looks like now. And I didn't do anything over here. I know last time I said I wanted to finish this up, but this time I was focusing over here because I wanted to try that diagonal method. And I started the first 2 little diagonals using the stitch by stitch, like row by row, stitch by stitch particular method that Blitz Stitch often uses. However, it was just too slow for wanting to do a lot of progress on this piece. This is the one I want to just get done. So I don't necessarily care if my stitches are a little bit wonky. And the other thing is, a lot of these colors are blends. So it already looks a little bit wonky just because the light hits the different colors in different ways, because there's a lot of blends. Almost all of them are blends. So I got 800 stitches done in the sky, and it actually has rejuvenated my interest in the sky, which is good because there's a lot of sky. So it has made me enjoy this again a little bit more. So I'm looking forward to that next month and seeing if I can next month get 1200 stitches in 5 or 6 days. So we'll see how long it takes me. And I know it'll probably take me longer when I get down into the bulk of the piece and out of the sky, because there's a good amount of block stitching up in the sky. So it's all a big experiment. So that's how far I got in on Waterfall this month, and I'm still happy with it, even though it wasn't 1200 stitches. I don't need to do 1200 stitches this year. So for this month, I'm happy with the progress I got on that. The other thing, my enchanted alphabet, is this one from Lavender and Lace. And my fabric I bought is 45 count Springtime by Lakeside Linens. And I got 2 little letters done. And this one's actually a large letter, but I say little because it's 45 count. Which I know you probably won't be able to tell in person, but this O is less than an inch. Less than an inch tall. Because there's an inch. And it's just about an inch. Just a little bit under an inch. I was trying to measure to see what it turned out to be. Since it's been hand dyed, which is actually probably my first hand-dyed fabric ever, but Lakeside Linens claims that they're color fast, so that made me a little bit happier and more confident to be able to use it in hand. So anyways, I was checking the finished stitches just to see, and it's closer to a 50 count. It's stitching up a lot closer to 50 count because the hand-dyed process has shrunk it a little bit. So the stitches, it's more like maybe 49 count. So it's like a 24 and a half, 25 count stitches. Which is not unusual for me because like my little September piece is on 28 count. It's just funny that the stitches are that tiny but the fabric is even smaller. So it's been really fun though. I haven't gotten messed up too many times. There was once when I was a half a stitch off, but I noticed it pretty quickly after like a stitch or two. So it's been fun, and I really like how the variegation in the letters was charted, because it's all solid DMC is how it was charted, but it comes together looking like when you stand back at the whole piece, it looks like it's variegated as you like move across the page. So it's kind of a fun look, and it's been really fun to stitch. So I will be able to bring that out again when, especially when like the daily stitches, when they talk about things with letters on them, can bring this out and do a letter or two on a day. Because I think the M, I stitched on it way more than I probably should have, but it took me about a day. So if I could probably do a couple little letters or one big letter in a day on one of those daily stitches. So that's been fun, and I'm excited to work on that little fabric. I think that's all I worked on this week. And so going forward, I'll keep working on my castle again. This morning I worked on September when I had a few minutes in the car because I wanted to finish up some of a certain color I was working on, but probably starting this afternoon I'll go back to my castle, and I will work on September on the weekends, and Temperature Garden when the petals are ready to stitch, when my next flower is ready. my main project for this coming week will go along with Stitch Mania's All Creatures Great and Small. And one of the pieces I have that is the most animalish is what I used to call my creation sampler. And I had a viewer, I don't believe they have a channel, but a viewer of my channel found this kit on Amazon. It's called In the Beginning, and it's by Dimensions, and I was able to find a picture. So this is what it looks like, or will look like. And I've done this right here. So I think I'll head over and start working on the monkey and this bird's nest. I don't know how far if I'll get to the peacock this week, but I'll at least start here and kind of work over the top like I like to do. So I'll come down like that. So I was excited to see that someone found it. So I'll link that below if anyone's interested. It looked like there was only one left at last I checked, but that's a fun one. And let's see, fell down here. This is where I am on this. This is a very old whip, probably 19 or 20 years old. Not my oldest whip either. So anyways, this is where I am on it right now. This is on 18 count antique white Aida, which is I believe what came in the kit. I kitted it myself because the kit belonged to my roommate's aunt who still planned on stitching it, so she just shared her chart with me. So it's got a parrot and a butterfly and a giraffe and a hummingbird and a sun, and that's as far as I got, and I love it. It's so colorful and fresh. So like I said, I'll be heading over this direction this coming week, so we'll see how far I can get on that. And my plans beyond just stitching, I'm going to be going to my local needle workshop this week, my plan. And another floss tuber reached out to me a few weeks back when I first started mentioning that I wanted to go to my needle workshop when school was back in session, and she reached out to me and said, I'll meet you there. I live in Southern California too. Let's meet and go shopping together for stitchy stuff. So Shelly from Key X Stitch on Flosstube, I'll link her channel below. She makes videos. She lives about an hour away from me, but she has graciously offered to come my direction and meet, and we're gonna enjoy some stitching and some shopping, and that should be a lot of fun. I am a little bit behind on Flosstube, more than I would have been, because I binge watched her entire channel. I figured if I'm meeting her in real life, I need to get caught up and like know a little bit more about her and the things she's working on. So she seems like a nice lady, and I'm excited to meet her and have a stitchy meetup. So that'll be fun this week. I can tell you about it later, next time. The other thing, because we're meeting, she wants to see some of my whips besides like my travel pieces that I would bring to work on. So I need to get together like a lot of my small and medium pieces and have a little show and tell. And I think she's going to bring some of her stuff too. So that'll be fun. While we're at the LNS, I'm hoping to get anchor floss for my castle, chatelaine goodies, beads, silks, sparkles, whatever they have there. And then some Weeks Dye Works I want to look for. There's a frosted pumpkin piece I want to work on next year. I don't have the pattern yet, but I found out what the Weeks Dye Works are that they called for, and so I may look for those as well to get a head start on that one. And the only little bit of 2018 plans that I want to share is on Instagram. One of my friends, Stitchy Mom, a little bit similar to my name but different. She says she likes to alternate between more complicated projects that take several days to see progress and smaller, more simple projects that you can see progress in 2 or 3 days. So she kind of alternates where she has like a 5 or 6 day project buffered in the middle by like a 2 or 3 day project. So I might try that and see how I like that. Maybe even as early as September. I know I had planned to do like a 4-day rotation in September, and then I think the end of September I ended up with a 6-day chunk on Royal Holiday. So I might try to rework that to do some 5 or 6 chunks and some 2 or 3 day chunks, because I have Frosted Pumpkins National Parks that I want to plug in there, and I don't want to have to take out any of the other pieces that I was planning to do, but I need to do some surgery on my September plans. So I might try a little bit of Stitchy Mom's rotation style to see how I like that. And I might use that going forward in 2018 too if I like it. So I think that's all I have for you today, and I made it in one clip. I'm really excited, and a lot of times I have to piece together 2 or 3 clips. So I think that's it. Have a wonderful week and enjoy your stitching. And thank you for everything. Talk to you later.